Snake. Snake.
We have a link going in the middle. Oh, we're doing that with doing the thing again.
Hello there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Football Manager Therapy. I am your host, Rich Owens. We're back, arguably better than ever. I am joined this week by two of three members of the FM team, the wonderful D-Boy Plays, and the returning Steaky Bakety. Steaky, it's been a hot minute, pal. How are we? How are you? What's news?
I feel like I'm always returning these days. I feel like I missed a couple, and then it's like, the returning Steaky. I'm back again. Back once again. It's the Renegade Master. That's me. I'm very good, thank you, Rich. What about yourself?
I'm all right, thank you, mate. You know what? I really do enjoy the Renegade Master reference there because when I think of you, I often think of the ill behaviour. So it's very you've got that D4 damage, power to the people energy, and I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. More than happy to spending the evening with yourself, and of course, our old pal D. D, hello, friend. How are you, mate?
I'm doing really well, thank you. I've been enjoying my Holsworthy save, and I've found quite possibly my favourite TV show in the world, Last One Laughing on Prime. 10 comedians in a room trying to make each other laugh, and they're not allowed to laugh. And I love it because it's so dumb, and it's got Bob Mortimer in it, who's my hero. So I've had a great week.
He's so good, though, isn't he? I love me some Bob Mortimer.
He's the best.
I think maturing is realising that Bob Mortimer was always the funnier of the two.
Yeah.
Because Vic Reeves is very loud. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not pooping at all on the Vic Reeves parade. I think he's a very, very funny man. But Bob Mortimer's just a special comic.
It's a gift.
Isn't he?
He's an absolute gift to the world.
Mm-hmm. What a man. What a man. Love you, Bob. Vic, I'm sure you're doing very well as well. Proud of you both, boys. Aren't you all good? Well done. Let's all just take a second and remember Shooting Stars. Oh, that was good. Oh, I liked Shooting Stars.
One of my favourite shows in the world.
So good. So good. So good. But we're not here to think about Shooting Stars this week, fellas. We could be, but we're not. Sorry. Actually, this week we're here to talk about Football Manager, shockingly enough. Hence the name of the podcast. We're going to talk about FM this week because we don't talk, little FM chats. Vaguely, we're going to try and segue it in there somehow. Because I've been having a little think this week, and I feel that personally, the FM community on the whole, the player base, the people that enjoy Football Manager, we're a good people in a roundabout kind of way, aren't we? We're a good sort. I like us.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're good people. All right, aren't we?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. And we always say on this podcast, there is no right or wrong way of playing Football Manager, is there? Because if you are enjoying the game, you are playing the game correctly. Football Manager, at its essence, is a very subjective game, is it not? Your levels of enjoyment of the game may, vary comparing to other people's because you may have different targets, different objectives, different things you're trying to get out of the game. So however you play it, if you're having a good time playing it, you're doing it right. No? Is that fair?
I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
seems
think
reasonable.
that's definitely fair.
Yeah. What we're going to do this week is we're going to contradict that enormously because we've asked this week for listeners of the podcast and members of the wider FM community, maybe, just maybe, the way you play the game doesn't make you feel good, doesn't make you feel like a good person. Maybe you're doing things from a Football Manager perspective that you think that maybe you need some kind of forgiveness for. Maybe you need to confess your Football Manager sins to a panel of well-rounded, well-balanced and emotionally responsible human beings. They were not available. They couldn't make it this evening. We tried to book them.
I thought you'd booked guests. Did they not?
No, they didn't. They didn't turn up. So it's us. What we're going to do is something that I enjoy doing. We're going to sit in judgment of people today, fellas. we're going to sit in judgment of the FM community and their goings-on in the world of Football Manager, anonymously, thanks to the wonderful application NGL. Very, very good. Very, very good. It's free. Use it or don't. Not your dad. Can't make you, but I have, and it's been great. Thanks to that app, we posted a link earlier in the week, and people have been informing us of their Football Manager sins. Before we crack on with the community, is there anything either of you would like to, I don't know, get off your chests before we start? Is there anything that, you think, actually, maybe I do this in Football Manager, maybe I shouldn't be doing it? Steak, anything that you've ever done that makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable emotionally? That's very
what?
Yeah?
I've been bottling it up since my first podcast. So my first episode of the FMT pod was hosted by Y Callum, and then Dan joined us much later into the podcast recording. Sorry to call you out again, Dan.
It's fine.
And it was a really fun episode, and the title of the episode was Squad Planner. And we had lots of pirate-related puns, but the show premise was mostly about the use of the Squad Planner. And in that episode, we revealed things about the Squad Planner that I didn't even know. There were tabs that I'd never clicked before. There were areas of it that I said, wow, that's really cool and really interesting. And I'm going to start using it more. So my initial confession is that I still don't use the Squad Planner, and I still use a spreadsheet. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, FMT. I know you wanted me to use it, especially Callum was desperate for me to use it, but yeah, I use a color-coded spreadsheet still.
No, that is the correct way of doing it. No, we're not using, if they put it in the game, it's not colourful.
It's not.
That's the problem.
It's not colourful.
That is the biggest thing. I want to be able to highlight a player in orange and say, maybe loan this guy out.
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I think there is no penance involved there. I don't think you've done anything wrong, personally. In fact, and I think this happens quite a lot in court when judges are talking, I'd encourage you to do it more. I think you should crack on. Sounds great. Yeah. I think that's absolutely fine. Now, for the audio listeners, I have in my hand a small black stick. This is going to serve as my judge's gavel for the evening. I'm going to bang it to assert my authority when I'm making decisions over punishment for the community's shortcomings or lack thereof in this case. So what should we start it off as? We pitched on, I thought of names. We're going to start with Gavel Pogrebniak. Not guilty. Absolutely fine. Do it. If anything, Steaky, do more of it. I think you're correct to do so. I think that's absolutely fine. No forgiveness is required. No punishment is required. I think you've done the right thing there, Steaky. Well done.
I appreciate it.
But thanks for sharing with the room. I appreciate it. I'm sure he will, but he's... No, he's not here, so do what I want. Say what I want. Who cares? Dee, have you ever done anything wrong a day in your life?
No, I'm the perfect man.
And I believe you.
No, I've done many things. Regretting any of them? I think, no, I've learned from a lot of errors and things I've done. If I were confessing anything, on multiple versions of FM, I have managed Wolves deliberately to relegate them. Purely, one of my best mates, Jamie Beakless in my chat, singer of my band, he doesn't play FM. So purely for his amusement, but also to make me feel good as well, when he wants to do a daft FM save to kind of try and get his head around why I enjoy it so much. I say, cool, we're going to manage Wolves, and I'm going to sell everyone in their team apart from goalkeepers. And we're going to have a team purely based on goalkeepers. They're all going to be rubbish. We're going to see how fast we can get them down to the National League. That is what I'm guilty of. Playful messings around with my beloved West Brom's rivals. Other than that, there's not really anything. I don't use the squad planner either, but I'm not ashamed of it. I hate it.
Guilty. Not guilty. Carry on. Basically, I think at this point, they could confess to doing anything. and then say, by the way, the squad plan is a bit rubbish, and I go, not guilty. You're absolutely fine.
All of them end with the squad planner sucks.
Yeah,
Go,
crack
"Yeah,
on.
Fine, me too."
Yeah, I've murdered 17 people with the case from my copy of Football Manager 2009. Squad plan is a bit rubbish. Like, yeah, crack on. Kill more frequently. You are correct. No, absolutely no shame in that. Absolutely no shame in that, because again, there's no moral code to the purpose of a save in Football Manager. So if you want to relegate Wolves, you relegate Wolves.
All done for amusement, never done out of actual malice.
Absolutely. Nor should you. No, you're absolutely fine. See, don't we all feel better for just getting things off our chest? I have nothing to confess to because I'm perfect.
You come on now.
Okay. Look, again, I have brought it up before. There have been several periods of my FM career where I have, out of spite, just signed or inherited Andy van der Meijden over the course of saves and just fined him 2 weeks' wages every single week out of principle, just because. No real reason. He's not played badly. You know, he's not a bad man. Andy van der Meijden just looked at him and I thought, you know what? Give me 2 weeks' worth of your earnings. Now give me another 2 weeks' worth of your earnings. Now do it again. Now do it again. You want to leave, Andy? No, you're not. No.
Unfortunately, you are making us millions.
You need to stay because I need some more of your wages. Oh, which I'm going to give you, and I'm going to take back double. Thank you very much, Andy. Yes, I have psychologically bullied Andy van der Meijden across a variety of FM saves. It was a habit my brother and I got into when we used to play together a long time ago, and it took a very, very long time to break. So yeah, I've bullied Andy van der Meijden, taken his wages off him repeatedly. Again, it's completely pointless because it doesn't actually benefit the club at all. I never saw any actual financial benefit to doing it. It's just funny, isn't it?
Say that. Literally, you saying that just made me think. Last year on FM, a genius way to have made a club money is offer someone 500 grand a week and then fine them 2 weeks' wages, and you just make £1 million every week.
Infinite money glitch.
Yes,
This is exactly
yes.
it. That's how you do it. It's like when you see those drawings of somebody, they've drawn a car with a magnet in front of it. Like, I've created infinite energy. Like, fundamentally, it's the exact same thing. No, have £1 million a week, and now I'll take 2. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. And then you use that to pay off all your Klarna payday loans. And you do it again the next week. Oh, these rates of interest. Goodness gracious me. Right. Are we ready, fellas, to sit in judgment over the podcast audience and our listeners as we
ready.
delve deep into goodness gracious me. See, you have to forgive me, this app is wonderful, but as well as real messages, it also sends you pretend ones to get you in the mood for the app. So between the confessions from the FM community, I've got things where it says, I love how confident you are. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. So very kind of you. If that came from one of you, that's just really good. It didn't, but let's just pretend it did. Right, confession number 1. Here we bloody go. Nice, short, to the point. These are all anonymous, by the way. From here on out, all of these confessions are completely anonymous. We don't know who has sent them. But if it was you, this one. You animal. Confession number 1, gentlemen. I use the in-game editor to remove unhappiness in my squad pretty much every week. How do we feel about that as a set of circumstances? For the audio listeners, there are some facial expressions happening from both of my podcasting Budarinos. Neither of them particularly positive facial expressions when that confession was read out. Steaky, you clearly have feelings on this.
Yeah, I think a big part of Football Manager is morale manager, managing players' emotions and how good they feel about being at your club is a big part of the game. It's not necessarily a part you have to play in order to be successful, because if the more you win, the happier players are, usually. So if you're doing well, you might not have to delve too much into that area. But I think it depends on the context on whether I'm going to allow this or not. If you're just sat playing on your own and it's just for your own entertainment and it makes you less angry at the game to change your player's mood, then all for you. However, if you're posting those results online or claiming to be a winner of a league or an invincible person or something like that, then that's a little bit of a grey area because that's such a big part of the game, and I think it has a really big effect as well. Having a player unhappy can make them the difference between Messi and Titus Bramble. Like, genuinely, it's such a big part of the game.
Those two have ever been compared.
Yes, definitely.
Not in this house, how dare you? We've got a lot of Messi's goals Bramble-esque around here, how dare you?
Usually Brambles are in the wrong net, so did Messi score any own goals, you know? Yeah, so if you're posting about your save online, then you should probably try and be a little bit more legit with that one, because I think it's a really big part of the game. But yeah, if you're just playing on your own, more for you. If you enjoy the game that way and it makes you happy and you enjoy it, then you do you.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. Dee, your thoughts?
Very similar to Steaky's. I think one massive part of my FM experience, especially throughout the entirety of FM24, is trying to make sure my squad is happy and doing everything within the game to make sure that's happened. So obviously, I annoy people to a point when I do this, but praising training every week, praising the people I consider good enough to give them that little bit of an give them a little bit of a boost confidence-wise, and then they start playing well. And I don't know, and I really have no correlation of doing it equals good results, but I've been very lucky this year, and I've had a lot of good results. So I do think that, like you said, Steaky, it is a bit of a morale manager game. We call it a lot of different things. It's like spreadsheet simulator, morale managers, lots of those little aspects do make up. And I think, yeah, you're right. If someone was, like, if it was someone that, was, sharing it in like a Facebook group or on a Reddit page, look at my unbeaten season where it was perfect, and you're like, wow, the entire team look very ecstatic. You didn't have one person that was bothered. You didn't upset one player throughout the season. I'd be like, that's a little bit suspicious. Even me praising every week, I still get people upset. And then the one side where I would kind of also allow it, which is in the context in which I'm doing with my save at the moment, where I literally, and I know my save is obviously, it's purely for content, it's all a bit daft, but I have a redeem to basically remove your player's unhappiness. And I will, and again, in that circumstance, I'll very happily do it, because it's like, well, people have made their player for my Holsworthy team. They want to stay at Holsworthy. If your player is upset because of something that's happened in game, which obviously doesn't reflect your real life opinion, I will remove your unhappiness. Having said all of that, if I wasn't doing this Holsworthy save, I would kind of consider that very, very unforgivable overall. Like manage your players properly. Every now and again, I think if there's like a very rare circumstance where there's just some guy who just, like, doesn't matter what you do, they're just going to be miserable, fine, maybe if that's the only way you deal with it. Or you do what most normal clubs would do and you sell them and you get them gone, and then there's the problem solved and you've got money. But yeah, I think yeah. If you're just sitting at home playing the game and it's how you can get an enjoyment out of it, crack on, enjoy yourself. Like you say, this is an example of where you say you can play the game how you want. Like, if that's what's going to bring you enjoyment, do it. But just don't go bragging about any successes.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be that kind of tag on the end of, if you're on your own and you're playing on your own, it's fine. Might be our kind of generic response to a lot of these, but this one, I think we're judging quite hard on that level, because I think it is going to affect the game quite dramatically, and you'd be surprised how much it affects the game, I think, because it doesn't seem like a huge part of the game. I know they've added like the dynamics sections over the last couple of editions of the game to give you a clearer idea of what's going on, but yeah, it's something that kind of goes by the wayside a little bit. But I take great solace in selling the player that's moaning. That gives me a little bit of pleasure when they're like, oh boss, I want to play, and you're like, no, you're a squad player, stop complaining, you play enough. Boss, I want to play. No, right, okay, go away, get sold, I'll take 40 million for you, thanks very much, bye-bye, see you later. And now I'm happy, and my morale has been managed.
That's your way of doing a remove your unhappiness.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. How do you feel about it, Rich?
Now, before I heard both of your arguments, I had quite a black and white response to this one, because I think that for me, I didn't like that one.
Okay.
Because it's Because, as I say, I think it's important to build on this. We say there's no right or wrong way of playing the game. I think that's quite a, we say it a lot. I say it a lot myself, but I think that's quite a generic statement. If you want to, and when I say that, what I mean is, if you get your enjoyment from playing Football Manager you buy the new one each year, when a new one comes out, if a new one comes out, topical. You load at the game, you start at Liverpool or Man City, and you manage for a couple of seasons, you win the Premier League, you win the Champions League, you go, yeah, Football Manager, and then you just don't play it again for another 11 months. Fine. If you build yourself a custom database and start from the 20th tier of English football and do a youth-only policy to try and get yourself up to the Premier League, fine. You are getting the same amount of enjoyment as our friend who manages Liverpool or Man City or PSG or one of the massive teams that have access to infinite everything already. It's already set up and it's all there and it's all ready for them. Fine, you're still enjoying the game the same way. For me, using the in-game editor to adjust to your in-game universe, to me, I'm going to sound like a bit snobbish, just feels a little bit like that's almost a little bit too much in that direction. Again, you're both right, you're both very right. Enjoy the game how you enjoy the game. If you're sat there on your own playing it, fine, if it brings you joy. But to me, that's almost like a little bit too much of giving myself a helping hand, sorting out your squad morale and sorting out, trying to keep everybody happy, doing things like praising training, making sure that when you're signing players, you are signing them with realistic expectations of their playing time. And if you're not going to do that, having to deal with the consequence of doing that. That to me is a quintessential part of Football Manager, because it's going under the hood of a football simulation game. It's the realism, it's that grittiness, it's you're creating your universe, you're telling your story. So to have something in place where you can just click a button and go, actually no, I want everyone to be really, really happy. Because it has a massive knock-on effect. How often is it that a player comes to you and says, I want a new contract? You say, no, you've got 3 years left. I'm paying you a reasonable wage that matches your importance to the club. Soz. And then 10 other players come to you. They're like, oh, you've treated him really, really badly, and we're all really, really cross about it. Having to navigate that is a realistic part of that experience to me. So I want it in there. So to me, at face value, it felt a little bit shortcutty. Having heard your much more balanced opinions on it, I'm leaning towards a little bit more leniency in terms of this. What I'm going to do, I'm going to sentence this listener. I'm going to gavel Nedved now. Slightly guilty. I sentence you, anonymous listener. I think it's fair to attending 3 months worth of in-game press conferences. There you are. That is your punishment. I think it's fair. 3 months of in-game, 3 in-game months of press conferences. You must attend
no speed running, I think, as well. No
speed running.
You have to read every question.
You have to read them out loud.
Don't just choose
to
the second
yourself.
one.
Exactly. Choose the answer. That's what you have to do. I think that's fair, personally. I think that's a fair judgment. So there we go. Shall we have another one?
Definitely.
This, lads, this is a two-parter, because this person couldn't get all their thoughts out in one message. Didn't know there was a character limit, but here we are.
Who'd have thought?
Are we sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin. Dear FMT Judicial Collective, that's us.
Ooh.
Please accept my below confession as I lay myself at your feet for mercy. Good start. I am a content creator with many hours logged on the game we all love. As we all know, when your team is on a good run, you do not turn off your computer. I was in a title challenge season, and my alarm went off telling me I needed to pick up my youngest son from football training. Not wanting to risk losing the good form, I asked the manager if he'd drop my lad off at home for me because I was stuck at work. This listener says they went on to win a league title. But now, if you don't mind, as somebody who owns and is responsible for 2 small children, I have opinions on this. Mm-hmm. Again, unlikely in a court of law, but for a judge to turn around and say, "You go, Glen Coco." Quite incredible. Quite incredible. There is nothing that frustrates me more as an adult than the logistics of transporting your children around while they take part in their hobbies. So if you can get somebody to do that for you, incredible. Absolutely incredible. You know what? You take FM out of this entirely. If you have the confidence to lie to other adults about your whereabouts and your activities, just they'll give your kid a lift home. Crack on, mate. You do you, boo. I'm delighted with that. And I'm glad that your lack of commitment to parenting won you a league title. So, yeah, you go. I'm very, 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 very proud of you. Dee, how do we feel about this?
I can 100% concur. I absolutely, first of all, love this confession. Thank you, whoever sent that in. And yeah, the fact that, yeah, I mean, in some ways, you're stretching the truth. You're not lying, stretching the truth. Because in Football Manager, you are employed to be the manager of that team. So you were at work. And if you're a content creator and you were creating content, you were also at work. So I would say absolutely fine. And to echo Rich's sentiments, try and get them to do it more often, really, as much as you can. Get as many people to do those things for you so you can play as much of our favourite game as you can. Yeah, no, genius. I love it. Not guilty on any level.
Steaky.
Yeah, the way this was phrased, I got a real sense of power of them grovelling at our feet. That was really nice. I don't know if you've seen Taskmaster, where Joe Wilkinson cheats and throws a potato into a golf hole by going over the line, and then he begs Greg Davis at his feet. And I got a real sense of power. And in the same way, I think I'm going to come down on the other side. Controversially, you chose to have a child. It's you chose this life.
Objection.
Maybe you didn't. All right, then.
Sustained.
If you didn't choose, then that's unfortunate. You carry on. If you did choose, you lay in your bed and you lie there.
yeah, not getting out of it to pick up your child from football practice. So, no.
No, excellent confession. Absolutely, very much enjoyed that. Love that.
Yes,
keep it up.
The majority rule here: not guilty. Crack on. You live your life. Come up with more elaborate reasons that people need to ferry your children around for you.
Trapped in a well.
Exactly. I mean, again, for context here, just a quick peek behind the curtain of real life, because, you know, as people know, I work in education in a roundabout kind of way. There is a student at my school that is currently chasing a scholarship at a professional football club. I've spent the last, crikey, they are, well, a very, very long time, shall we say, doing so. And having spoken to this child's parent about the logistics of what that entails, I take my kids to 2 activities a week and I complain about it, and this parent is doing thousands of miles a week up and down motorways, away games and all sorts, and I listen to them and I was like, I'm in awe of you and your commitment to your child's potential future career, but also it just made me really tired just thinking about it. Goodness gracious me. So if you can get people to do that for you, crack on, live your life. Right then, next up, here we are. No formal greeting with this one, just straight into the meat and potatoes of their guilt. I made a creator club on FM17 with the Sunday League team I played for at the time. Who doesn't love creating their own club? My then girlfriend left me for one of my IRL teammates. So, in my pettiness, in-game, I used the editor to send him on a 5-year-long loan to a club in North Korea. Wow. Steak. Yeah. I mean, where do we... goodness me. Lot to unpack here.
Firstly, how did you get a North Korean club to bid for your loan player? That's amazing. Absolutely love that. Yeah, I think we've all played a game which real life has affected, and we've done something along those lines. Like, take The Sims, for example. We've all killed our enemies by removing the steps from the swimming pool, right? Surely, everyone does that. I think perfectly legitimate way to get out your anger, and quite a healthy way as well. You didn't go and key his car, or, you know, nick his sweets at school. You went, you know what, I'm going to create a virtual version of them, and I'm going to take it out on the virtual version. So very healthy. So well done to you. In my opinion, you dealt with it perfectly.
There we go. So straight away, it's not guilty, so Steaky. Dee, your thoughts?
I think I know who this is, and I'm 100% all for these things as well. I think first of all, if you're doing something that is just meant to be a bit of light-hearted fun in the context of the game, where you've created a club and it's your team and it's all these people, yeah, great, fun, loads of fun. But then if one of those people in real life betrays you, yeah, first of all, the healthiest thing to do is to just completely ruin their virtual person's life. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's almost kind. He sent them to North Korea, you know.
They might have had a really lovely time in North Korea.
I mean,
you never know.
they still got to kick a football, you know. I would have, you know, just you know, cruciate ligaments every season without fail, just injury, and just made sure they never had a career at all. But no, not guilty on any level, and I respect the decision immensely.
There you go. Again, controversially, this worries me. This behaviour. There's a lot of anger that goes into creating the North Korean leagues, which aren't traditionally involved in Football Manager.
Oh yeah, the teams are there. I think you can still search.
Oh, are they still? Can you still see the teams? Okay,
exist, but you
they
just
still
can't
technically, but you
do
can't.
anything
Okay,
with them.
but okay,
Yeah.
but to set. Oh goodness me! Still though, to essentially gulag somebody for 5 long years. What happens when that 5-year loan ends? Are you over it by then? I wouldn't be. I'd still. It's a short-term solution to a long-term problem. I think you've got to go the other way. I think you've got to double down. I think you've got to make it his problem in real life, but you know, not to his face. You know, take out a payday loan in his name.
In real life.
That's what you need to do. Take out a payday loan in his name. That's what you need to do. Sign him up to a bunch of subscription services. You know, this is what you need to be doing at this point. You know, just prank call him twice a day, giving him bad news. Because Football Manager, it can only accomplish so much. Yes, I've been hurt before. I don't know why you've both asked me that. That's a really good question to ask me. But I think it's important that you really double down and really get weird with it. No, not at all. Yeah, perfectly acceptable. Not guilty. So says Gavel Nedved. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, very, very, very healthy behaviour. You did it, champ. Right, here we go. Next, forgive me, FMT fathers, for I have sinned. Strong start. If my team are in one of those inexplicable runs of poor form, I've dropped Gavel Nedved, I'm furious. If my team are in inexplicable run of poor form, I have been known to use the instant result button, which, as we all know, can be a little bit overpowered, just to right the ship and steady the course. I will now go and enter a period of deep reflection. Dee, I'm going to come to you first on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the instant result button, if obviously I don't believe it comes part of the traditional Football Manager view. I think it is only something that tends to be added on custom skins. Mm-hmm. For example, it's obviously on the SAS skin that we all use. And I've used it. I used it pretty much exclusively throughout the on the med save for European competition, because for the rules of the save, European success didn't matter. So I was just like, I don't care about these games, I'm just going to fast forward them. I did win 3 Champions Leagues doing that, which was quite funny. So I put no effort into them, and I won 3 of them. But nonetheless, I don't think using the instant result button is necessarily that bad. One thing I would say is I think it should only be really used in a last resort. I think you should be trying to do all of your, because, and again, I say using the instant result, it doesn't mean it always works. You don't always win on an instant result, but it is typically a little bit, it does lean in your favour a little bit. I think you're more likely to win for some reason. I don't know what it is about it, but I think if you have exhausted all avenues, you've tried new tactics, you've benched the players that aren't doing anything, and if it's just not working out, try an instant result. If the instant result works, it doesn't mean that the problem is solved. It means that you've just won that game. It means that the AI has kind of worked out what you were trying to achieve and has done it. Because you could go into your next game and lose. You could lose easily, and then it's like, cool, you're straight back to square one. But I think if it's, I don't know, you're in a relegation battle and okay, we'll give it a go. All right, fine. Maybe that saved us. I don't know. Maybe now we're starting getting into, murky waters, but I'm not adverse to people using the instant result, and I don't want us to. I'm not going to always use this as a thing, but again, you play the game how you enjoy it, and if that helps you keep the dream going with your team, I'm not against it. But yeah.
Okay. Steaky to bakety, have you ever dabbled with the instant result button yourself?
I don't tend to use it really, only for if I have a save where friendly matches are available to be managed, and then I don't want to, so I tend to skip through those. But deliberately in my own personal saves, I want to play every single game, and if I don't, I feel like the success isn't mine. Almost, it's almost like if you weren't the manager, you just simmed the match. I wouldn't load up a save, sim an entire season, and then say, "Oh, I won the Premier League," because you didn't. But having said that, I think using the instant result once in a while on a game that, it's still a gamble, it's still a risk, you're still clicking a button which kind of throws the randomization out there. You could still lose that game, absolutely. It takes into consideration your morale and your fitness and things, I presume. I would assume.
I think so.
So it's just letting your assistant manager manage the game, really, isn't it? You could, in theory, go into your preferences and set your assistant manager to manage the match anyway, if you wanted to, and then just click continue.
I think the instant result actually goes down as a game you've managed.
See,
yeah,
now
it's a weird thing because I tried doing an offline save just to try and just give me something to do for a bit, and I did do a few instant results because it was right at the end of a season, and they did count as my games. So
right. See, now then that pushes me more towards the no, don't do it field.
Okay.
Because it's going down on your manager stats as something that you've done when you haven't. Admittedly, I think if you're on a massive losing streak, then it doesn't really matter anyway. You're still not having the best of times. And if that saves your save, because one of the most frustrating parts of Football Manager is when you do a save, it doesn't go your way and you lose interest in it. If that's the last resort, as you said, the last thing that you tried, and that's the thing that keeps you going in your save, then I'll allow it a couple of times a save. But if you're doing it 13, 14, 30, 38 games of a season, then perhaps take another look. It's on the line for me. I'm going to sit on the fence. It depends on the situation. It's a difficult one.
Steaky has taken the role of the United City in this portion of the podcast, and wonderfully well.
He's playing both sides, so he comes out on top. That's what he's doing.
He is. He's playing both sides, so he comes out right on top. Perfect. I think it's another weird one for me. I don't think it's as black and white as using the editor to effect to remove unhappiness from the squad, because I myself I've used it on stream a couple of times over the course of What's the Story. I think I used it a few times. A couple of times, like you say, Dee, if the results that just didn't matter, just get through a fix. Like I say, European results for you on the Med, completely irrelevant. Click on through. I used it a couple of times for similar reasons. I think I used it once out of just frustration I think it was with Real Madrid I think I had a horrible slump in January where we just lost repeatedly, and for no reason. We did different tactics, we did different systems. I went, fine, let's just let the computer play the fixture for me, and I think it won 4-0, and it just made me think, well, maybe I'm the problem here. I don't know. It's a weird one. I think it's there. It does feel a little bit as though And again, some of it's contextual. You know, we were talking before we went live this evening and started recording that I've been doing a little bit of it myself recently for a different project, and it's not always as effective as you want it to be. I think it's one of those things. I think I'm going to side slightly with Steaky here, in that if it's something that you use every now and then just as maybe we just need this as a last result, as long as you abide by the result that the instant result gives you. Because as you've both very rightly said, it is not a guaranteed win. It's not. There's a little button in the top corner of your screen that you can press that just goes, we're going to win this game 3-0. So it doesn't matter, because it's not always the way. Not always the way at all. If you abide by the instant result, then I think it is less problematic than if somebody were to, I've instant resulted. I've lost 2-1, but I really wanted to win that game. I'm just going to play that fixture again for some reason. Then it becomes a very, very different thing, I suppose. So I'm going to say slightly guilty. Only slightly, though. Slightly guilty for this one. I think your sentence for your slight misdemeanour, your slightly contextual misdemeanour, is 2 in-game months of weekly meetings with your assistant manager and attending each of those meetings. So set those reports to come weekly rather than monthly, as we all do. And rather than skip report, I'd like you to read every page out loud to yourself in detail.
Or to the class.
Or to the class, depending on where you are. Depending on where you are.
Best reading voice.
I think that's a reasonable response to that. It's not the worst thing you could have possibly done, but, you know, you felt the need to share it with us, which makes me feel like you feel a little bit guilty about doing it sometimes. So I think that's an appropriate response. Fellas, my goodness gracious me, have we got some more for you here? Here we go. Fell in love with a wonder kid who didn't want to join me. We've all been there. I feel you, Bruddy. Bruddy? I feel you, friend. Fell in love with a wonder kid who didn't want to join me. A certain creator convinced me to buy and download an editor to bring him to the club. Did all of that just for him to turn out to have 120 PA.
Good.
Well, I'll get the ball rolling here. You've already paid the price, literally, because you paid real money to download an editor to get your hands on a player that didn't want to join you. What's the lesson here? Everything I just said. There you go.
Yeah.
Everything I just said, just to make sense, doesn't it? Yeah, there you go. You, my friend, have an eggy face. That's all I can say. That's on you, pal. Dee, I don't know who it was you convinced to download the editor, but do you feel bad about it?
I knew you were going to think it was me. Yeah, I mean, my first question would be, which content creator convinced you to buy the editor to get yourself a Wonder Kid? Because a genius, because clearly joking, and you've not got that. Yeah, just buy the editor and just move him over. Yeah, do it. Be like, okay. Second of all, good. You got your just deserves. You paid. You've already paid for the crime, as you say. You've literally paid. What is it? $6.99, and for what? So you get a player who's 120 PA. Not even worth it. Not even worth it. But you know, we all make. They're definitely guilty, but I don't think this is serious. I think this is a sort of like, okay, they know they've messed up. They've admitted to being guilty straight off the bat. So it's not too serious. But yeah, that's all I would ask is just try not to be a repeat offender. Really, here, don't look at don't get when that next gen list comes through. Don't just start transferring all those players to your team just so you get the best of the best, because that's when it's going to start becoming a bit of an addiction, and that's where the real problems start happening. And you basically do want to start not doing something that is a core element of the game, which is buying players. Yeah. People like doing that quite often.
Steaky, Dee told you to buy the in-game editor, and then you got Wonder Kid with 120. Can you imagine? It wasn't me. It was me. I'm both people involved in this. Thoughts?
For me, this is outright cheating. This is like full blown cheat in the game. I never download the editor. I don't buy it. I use the pre-game editor sometimes to make databases and stuff, but I have never bought the editor, and I don't enjoy the concept of it. I don't like this. It's sort of pay to win a little bit, isn't it? Which I'm vastly against, having been a FIFA player for a long time. Yeah, I think this is a no-no for me. And you've also missed a trick as well, because you've bought the in-game editor, you've seen his potential ability, and then you've not just typed the number 200 in it. Why not just go all the way? You've already cheated. Just fully cheat. Yeah, for me, this would...
your whole team to just 200
Yeah,
there you go.
you might as well.
Result.
You've got the ability now, don't you? So for me, this is a little bit like sometimes I've played Minecraft on a server and I've been the admin of the server. And after about a week of playing, I've realised that I can use, because I'm the admin of the server, I can use the command give and give myself lots of diamonds and things like that. And then I lose all interest in the game. Like, it just goes, I've just gone, oh, I've cheated now. That's it. It's not fun anymore. So for me, if I did that, I would never play that save ever again. Like, it'd be straight away, I'd just be like, well, poo. That's my enjoyment gone. So for me, you've ruined it for yourself. You've ruined it for everyone. And you're an awful person. No, I'm joking.
I'm deeply ashamed of yourself.
Be ashamed. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the in-game editor or any of the other editors that you can get. So yeah, don't just don't. You won't enjoy the game. You won't have fun.
Unless you include spinning wheels, then it becomes wicked.
If your context of your save is enjoyed in a different way, i.e. winning is not the main game, the main aim is to spin the wheel for an hour and a half, then I'll let you off.
Why am I the one that's guilty of everything today? I've been nothing but nice.
Right, oh, hold on, what's that? Ryan Gavelbirch? Guilty? I was on the fence on this one, and then Steak's compelling argument has... well, I say I was on the fence, you know. I thought you already paid for your crimes, but as Steak accurately pointed out, you have not only cheated a bit, but you failed at cheating. You got cheating wrong. Yeah. So, guilty. I'm putting in place a transfer embargo for you. There you go. Next transfer window, full transfer embargo. You're not allowed to sign anybody because you signed somebody so poorly last time. There you go. That's on you. How very dare you? How very dare you? If you want to bring in the content creator that sold you a dream, they'll deny it. They'll just deny it. Of course they will. Take your punishment. How dare you? Good. Oh my goodness gracious me. Right, let's have another one, shall we? Bear with me, because we've had some absolute blinders coming in here. This is one that just says grateful for your friendship every day. That's not from a real person. I know that for a fact.
I sent that one in.
Oh, Steaky. Wasn't a confession though, it's just a statement. Guilty. Here we go. Again, no intro to this one. Just straight in there to the meat and potatoes of the guilt. I'm in a save with two of my best mates, and we agreed at the start, no downloaded tactics. However, I did copy the near post corner tactic used very famously at the FIFA World Cup and got promoted at the expense of one of my friends with a near post corner in the playoff finals.
No.
Hang your head in shame.
Oh, I was going to be nice until that last sentence.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That is... I don't know who you are because it's anonymous and it's for the best. But whoever you are, follow-up question. Yeah, follow-up question to your confession. How do you sleep at night? Like, how do you, at the end of a busy day of betraying your friends, lay your head down upon your pillow, close your eyes and drift off into peaceful slumber, knowing that you've done that? You sicken me. How dare you? Actually, just reading that has made me feel physically ill. No. Naughty. Very, very naughty.
Yeah.
It's quite naughty.
It's quite naughty, isn't it? It's quite naughty because you've copied what was clearly an incredibly effective set piece tactic from the FIFA World Cup, and it's cost your friend, who I assume wasn't doing that, promotion via the playoffs. Ouch, ouch. If you're the friend affected in this instance, then please reach out to us and let us know.
There are numbers you can call.
There are numbers you can call. Let's really lean into the T aspect of FMT, the therapy. Let's not forget that is a reasonable option for you. If you or anybody else have been affected by near post corners in your network saves, drop a little comment under this video. Hop on the Discord and let us know all about it, and we'll help you through it. The support group, generally speaking, meet on Wednesdays. But wow. To do that to friends, I mean, to do it in a competitive draft competition would be evil enough, but to do it to a friend in a network save, it's almost as bad as just joining one late on and winning back-to-back Premier League titles and just making the other people in the save just look stupid. But no, this is way worse. Oh wow!
Hey, I'm a winner. What do you want from me?
Winners win, okay? Winners win. Goodness gracious me. That one cut me deep. Cut me to the quick.
So guilty.
Yeah, I want to be your friend so badly. That's what one of the messages says. Again, it's... No, you don't. No, you don't. Right, we've got a couple left here. Bear with me just a second. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right then. Now, this one. Now, it's something that there's something in here that I'm not personally overly familiar with the concept of. So hopefully, either of you can enlighten me on this one. I use FMRTE on all of my saves. Personally, I'm a very casual player, and playing FM is a huge escape for me. And I cannot handle how challenging the game can be without any assistance. Dee, you made a knowing head gesture there because I'm very out of the loop with the world. What is FMRTE, if you don't mind explaining it to... Actually, no, I do know what it is. I just want to make sure that you also know what it is.
Yeah. No, I figured it was some sort of test.
Yeah, sure.
A Football Manager real-time editor. It's essentially... So obviously there is the in-game editor you can buy, which is provided by Sports Interactive. This is just secondary software. I will admit right now that I also own this, but purely for the current save, because there's certain things you can't edit in the normal save. For instance, where people are born, or how people look. So for instance, like if I know I've got Steaky on the team, and much like myself, neither of us have hair and we have beards. So when when I've added a player for you and you have a massive afro and are clearly not white, I feel the need, I should probably be able to at least make you look a little bit more like yourself, just so you can go, oh, that's me. Haha, fun. But yeah, real time. So, but it works exactly the same as the in-game editor for most of the stuff. You can move players between clubs relatively easy. You can fix morale on there. You can heal injuries. You can extend contracts. You can affect players' playing time. So you can set everybody to basically a future prospect, and then in game, none of them are upset because they're not star players anymore. So it is a little bit more detailed than the Sports Interactive in-game editor. So that's kind of what it does, really.
Sure.
So yeah,
Okay.
using that to aid the game. I think this is going to fall under a category. Again, you can go one of either way really with this, can't you? I think again, this definitely is going to fall under our typical umbrella of, if this means you're a casual player, if you're enjoying the game and this is a way for you to enjoy it, you might use it to sort of be like, all right, I'm just going to give my local non-league side all the best Wonder Kids in the world, and I'm going to use that almost like some sort of YouTube experiment. Be like, I'm just going to give myself all the best players, and I'm going to win everything. Cool, great. If you're having fun, you're having fun. Not a problem with that. He's already said he's casual, so it's not like he's broadcasting it anywhere or making videos on it. But then I could also throw out the idea of try to understand the game a little bit more. Try to get your head round tactics or managing morale, trying to win the game through the normal course of things. And, you know, there are several tutorials out there on these things on YouTube. There are countless people that stream on Twitch that you could just go and hang out in the stream of, and I'm sure you could learn at least one little thing where you'd be like, I've never tried doing that before. Do you know what? I'm going to give that a go. And it might just help improve your game a little bit more and make things, start to make it a little bit more like, oh, I've achieved this myself. I didn't need the use of that. But like I say, you've already said that you're a casual player. I'm not going to find someone good. If this is how you just get enjoyment out of things, crack on. Crack on. Why not?
It's fair. It's eloquently put. Eloquently put. Steaky, your feelings?
Yeah, again, this technically, I wouldn't do this because I would consider using that piece of software as cheating, especially as it's
100%.
not a sports interactive thing. It's a mod. I would suggest that it's like modding the game a little bit. So it's almost a more in-depth way of cheating, if you like. However, why not try an easier save? That's my 2 cents on it. If you find that you only have like the evening to play 3 matches or whatever, you don't have time to do all the YouTube tutorials, you don't have time to learn the game, you just want to sit down, play a couple of matches, score a couple of goals, feel like you've achieved something, try managing PSG, try managing Man City, someone like that, a big team in a big league. You'll still get a sense of winning things because you'll have done it yourself, and the game will lead into being easier because you've got the best players, you've got more money, you've got more things to do, you'll score more goals and things like that, even with a not so good tactic. But you'll still find finals challenging. For example, you'll still find the title race might be a 2-horse race and you might come second a few times. So you get a real sense of achievement that you have still won something then. I think that's how I would go about it if I was doing it. But you've mentioned that you do it on your own. You get it as a release from real life. I would go about it a different way, but you do you, I think, is how I'm leaning. But if I was playing it, I wouldn't get any satisfaction from winning those matches, personally.
That's fair.
Okay. I'm going to be lenient in this circumstance because I think for me the context is within the confession. And I've really picked up on I'm a very casual player and I cannot handle how challenging the game can be without any assistance. Okay. I get it. As Steaky says, as we all know, it can be an incredibly overwhelming game for people the first time they boot it up, and even for long-term players of the game, it can still be quite an overwhelming experience at the best of times. I think I'm going to agree with a lot of what Staker said there, in as much as maybe use this as an opportunity to maybe challenge yourself, just to maybe just pick a certain aspect of the game and try and get a little bit of better understanding of it. Because I think it's the kind of thing where if you enjoy Football Manager, if you enjoy football on the whole, and you play FM, and as you say, you're a casual player, it's a big escape for you, wonderful. That's great. But it's also, FM is the kind of game where pushing yourself a little bit can lead to more excitement and more reward from a game that you already enjoy. So if you have the opportunity, if you think to yourself, well, I use FMRTE to help me with X, Y, and Z in the game, I really wish I understood better how to accomplish one of those things. Spend a little bit of time, maybe focus on that a little bit more, and then it might be the kind of thing that, oh, actually, I understand that now. This makes sense to me now. It might not be the kind of thing that you need to rely on something like, FMRTE4, and then it's something that you use less. And then over time, you may be able to pick up other bits and pieces that will only increase your enjoyment of the game. It's a little bit like, Steaky, you mentioned you play a lot of it earlier, EAFC, and it's like playing a single player game like that and moving up the difficulty levels. It's you can play on amateur and nobody runs and it's really easy and you can win 74-0 and it's great. But then suddenly, a year or two later, you're playing on a different difficulty. You move up to like world class and you go, oh, I'm handling this okay. And that sense of accomplishment is always better than just pounding somebody 74-0 over and over and over and over again because you know the defenders aren't going to run. You can score a hat-trick with your goalkeeper. Doesn't matter. But again, with a game like Football Manager, because there's so much below the surface to get enjoyment out of, don't deny yourself it, I suppose, is the way I would put it. So, not guilty, but don't use this as a gateway drug. Don't use this as gateway software, because then all of a sudden, you know, you're doing all sorts of silly things and really decreasing your enjoyment of the game. And that'll be really, really sad for you, the end user.
Yeah, and just to add to that, Football Manager doesn't really have a difficulty slider or anything like that for you to change like EAFC does. But what it does have is the backroom staff preferences menus. So if there are parts of the game that you just think, I just don't want to do this, I don't want my training, I just want my players to be training the right things and being fit and doing progress all the time, let your assistant manager do it. Let your hire a decent assistant manager. That would be my first piece of advice to anybody playing Football Manager especially for the first time. Hire a decent assistant manager. Let them do the basic stuff. You do the tactic. You watch the match. You'll get enjoyment from that, and it's still you doing it. It's still you making the subs, and I think you'll enjoy the game a lot more like that. And then gradually be like, you know what? I'm going to investigate a little bit more into training, into loan market, things like that, into signing the backroom staff. I think that's the best way to get into it, and you'll have a lot more fun. So, although we're coming down on not guilty, I think it's like there are other ways to do this, which would be more entertaining for you. You try that. Have a go.
I'm going lenient on a first offender. Strike two. Back in this courtroom again. Guilty. The guiltiest you've ever been. How dare you? I really like your suggestion, though, Steaky. Yeah, lean on the backroom staff. Lean on that aspect of it. Very, very, very good shout. We've got one more left, fellas. Hi, lads. It's me, your old pal Rich, editing the pod. Bit of a weird one here. The next confession, bit strange. Going to be completely honest with you. Not going to go into much more detail than that, but I've made the decision to remove it from the final version of the podcast. Hope you don't mind. Let's cut back to me, Steak and Dee talking about some slightly more light-hearted Football Manager stuff. Okay, cool. See you momentarily. Bye-bye.
Do we want a really quick one just to mellow it out a little bit more innocent one?
A quick light-hearted one. Let me see. Just not to end on that.
I have my own one if you'd like one more.
Please do, Steaky, because I think I've gone. I'm just checking here. I've done the Wonder Kid. We've done the instant results button. We've done the downloaded tactics. One just says personality or looks. Again, I'm assuming that's not from a real person. Goodness gracious me. And missing anyone until this evening, yes, but I've got to spend some time with Steaky and Jeb, so everything's been good. And I see Dee on the regs.
And Dan as well.
Well, I've seen you. We've been on the pod together for the last few weeks, Dan. So I saw Steaky. So we've got to see Steaky. I haven't seen for a few weeks. Got to see Jeb, who I've not seen for a few weeks. That's nice. Wow. Is it not?
End the pod.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Unbelievable. Got anything you want to confess, Rich? You regret me? Is that it?
Not guilty. Oh, I've banged the gavel now. It's done.
He's a fair cop. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
go on, Steaky.
yeah.
What's your
Go on, Steaky, what have you got?
Confession?
My last one was just that before I became a streamer, if there were managers that particularly annoyed me, and I'm sure we've all done this, right? Please tell me we've all done this. I added a fake manager and then retired them just so that they lost their job because they were really annoying. So the two that I remember most, in fact, three that I remember most of all, was Mourinho at Man United, early Klopp, first season, second season Klopp, and then Southgate would always just kind of hold on to his job at England when England got knocked out in the group stage, and that would annoy me. I'd be like, I could do better as England manager, get him gone, and then I'd get the England job and inevitably get knocked out in the group stage. So please forgive me for ruining
100%.
Klopp's career.
100%. My thing I would say is that, much like anything, just do it more. Do it more.
Crack on.
Yeah.
Crack on. Yeah. Live your life. Yep. Get everyone sacked. Do it. It's. I considered doing it a couple of times in What's the Story, especially towards the end. Just getting Nagelsmann out of Porto just because he was doing such a terrible job. after
I
I
wanted
left.
to do it a lot on the med as well because I really needed a specific job. I'm just like, I can't be bothered
what
to
is-
try
what
to
is the-
drag a third tier team up to the top of Liga and just give the Marseille manager just stop it.
Yeah. What is the FM equivalent of just like a trail of? It's like in the old Family Guys, trail of jelly beans, and then a crate on a stick that you can just pull out. Oh, yeah. Yeah. How do you do that? How do you replicate that in FM? Because if we could, we would. What a lovely one to end on there, Steaky. Thank you ever so much. Lads, those were some confessions. We sat in judgment of people. I, for one, feel really good about it because I enjoy sitting in judgment and pretending I'm better than everybody else when clearly I am not. That very much feels like a podcast to me, fellas. I don't know about the two of you.
That felt very poddy.
Very much so.
Felt quite podcasty. Before we say our goodbyes to the lovely audience, Steakty Bakety, if people would like to watch you doing things on the internet, where might they find you doing it?
OnlyFans / no, wait, no, wrong one. Twitch.tv / /the_steak_bake. If you want to catch me playing Pokemon, that's all I do these days. Play Pokemon with Dan and Callum. That's all I do.
Hey, there's no all about it. You do it very, very well.
It's
All
a
of
lot
you,
of fun. Every
together.
Tuesday.
Every single Tuesday. Nuzlocking and popping. What a lovely time everybody has. D, people might like to watch you. As for the audio listeners, Steaky is busting a move. If they want to watch you playing some Pokemon with Steaky and Callum, or Holdsworthy Albion, or the other wonderful things you do, where can they find you?
Yeah, if you want to see Spinning Wheels with Holsworthy, or you want to watch me kill all of my Pokemon, you can do that over on twitch.tv /dboyplays.
Super duper. Lovely
What about you,
stuff.
Rich?
What about me?
Would you kindly tell people where they could find you?
You cheeky boy. Twitch.tv / Rich Owens FM. I've been playing other games. I've been playing games that aren't Football Manager. We did Thank Goodness You're Here, and what a wonderful time we had playing that. So much fun. And then carried on the kind of, cozy, light-hearted, silly games with BioShock, which is making me nervous despite having the fact I've played it so many times privately, off-stream. Lovely game. I'm just about to rescue a really nice Irish man's family from a submarine, and I don't think anything bad's going to happen when I do. So come hang out with me while I play a bit of that online. Twitch.tv / Jebaroo as well. He be streaming. Good Lord, he be streaming. Go watch some of Jeb's content as well. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. But D, Steaky, thank you so much for your time this evening. It's been a pleasure to spend the evening with you. And it's been a bit of pleasure to spend some time with you as well, the audience. Thank you for watching, for listening, however you are consuming this podcast. You're really good. We really like you. Thanks. If you're watching this on YouTube and you've not pressed subscribe, go on, press subscribe. Go on. Give it a little subscribe. Go on, you know you want to. Share it with a friend. Do whatever. Join the Discord. Hang out with us. Get on our socials. Spend some time in our company. We'd love to have you. That wraps it up, though, from me, from the FM team, for another episode of Football Manager Therapy. We will see you on the next one. Take care. Love you lots. Bye-bye.